welcome to another episode of the Profit Point Show, where we talk about investment, case in point, stock market, and gainers and losers, earnings reports, and some other information from the stock exchange. And then over to the business segment, where we talk about customer service, and of course, we're considering fashion design and include making business under our sectorial segment. All of this after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's still the Profit Point Show, and this is the stock market segment. I have Ambrose Omoni in the studio as usual. Ambrose, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay,
good
so
morning.
let's start off with the gainers and the losers as at yesterday's closing. We've got FTN Cocoa topping the gainers chart. We've got NNFM, that's Northern Nigeria, Flour Mill, Flowing Suits, and University Press. We've got Champions Brewery and USAN. And on the losers chart, we've got Cornerstone at the last. Of course, that's the stock that actually lost most. We've got African Prudential, we've got WAPIC, Learn Africa, and Custodian Investment. Gainers charts, FTN Cocoa there is not shocking.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not shocking as agri sector. I would have been
Exactly.
surprised if it was on the losers chart because, of course, agri sector is actually enjoying government intervention at this junction.
I know that is the instant now.
Then, of course, the Northern Nigeria Flour Mill. That's one stock that just woke up from the slumber and just surprising us with good results. And it's gaining, I think, is not surprising. But how this gain, is it sustainable, or do you think it's still a flash in the pan? I think they have other results now that came out and it's nice.
Yeah, their first quarter was out for the Northern Nigeria Flour Mill. So
Okay.
it's a good one. But if you look at the market performance for the last 7 days, market has been on a bullish run for 7 days. Only that the gain was not as much as people expected, just gaining, in little margin and also in little momentum, to reflect that funds that are entering the market is not much because of what the exchange issue that we're having. Foreign investors are still sitting back, and instead of them not having money to take their money back to their country, what they do now, most of them that has stake in big companies are really taking position, especially in Nigeria Brewery, Unilever, Flour Mill, and the Cadbury, and the Nestle. They know what they do, because now that CBN is having a challenge for them to exchange the market, so they're now waiting, and now prices of equity are already low. They start to come back, and this also supported the market early when market almost crashed in March. That the news of COVID-19 entered Nigeria, and there was a panic sell-off. Market went down to almost 11 years low. But this foreign investor, they sold down that March. But getting to the exchange market again, there was a delay because the economy was locked down. Instead of waiting, they decided, also, let's go back again to the market. They came back at the bottom of the market, they pushed the market up. Now that they were weak, gradually their funds are going out with from that April till now. But of recent now, the exchange market is having some challenges, because of trying to have a one single digit exchange rate and all those stuff. Now they said, okay, let's stop waiting again. Let's use our dividends have been declared. We have declared, and this dividend is not going away from this country, because whatever. Let's take our dividend to increase our stake in the market. That's what we're having. I see like there's a lot of little activities there, but it's good for the market because after we have seen impressive half year, because before now we're expecting that the second quarter or half year result of the company will be very bad because of the COVID-19 impact. But it was surprised that when the result came, they beat market expectation. Most of the sector that where people are looking down, the result was up. That changed the cycle of the market again, the sentiment changed again. That's also supported the market. For me, investor is also expecting that third quarter is along, on the way already by end of September. But you can see that if during the lockdown, they will have April, May and June, they're able to produce good results, then if this period that we don't have any lockdown from June, August, September, we see a better result. For that, the market is not even responding to what we call the recent GDP figure that came, because they've seen already the companies that are listed are producing good results. Then the GDP figure is like a past data already. For that, people are looking ahead. For me, investors are really changed their investing strategy, which is good. That means Nigerian investors are learning. They are not trying to like, oh, we can take decision on our own and move forward. And also, you can also look at from that March to date, the economy and the capital market are operating in the opposite direction. The economy is going down. We are seeing negative figure coming from GDP, inflation. This what we call purchasing manager index. They are all negative, below. For now to speak now, the NPR, which is the purchasing manager index, is below 50, which is negative. Inflation is above almost 12. And now we are seeing the heat now. The GDP is almost down by almost 6.65%, which is 6.1%, which is high. For me, the market has gone ahead. Why the economy is dragging? For me, investors now should just take what is the main factor driving the market now. If the economy is dragging feet, the market is moving. We should know that what really drives market at any time is liquidity and sentiment.
Okay, but looking at the economy contrasting by 6.1%, that's according to National Bureau of Statistics. We can see that you say liquidity, for instance, is probably because there is no other place for you to invest your money. Gone are the days when TB used to be toast. I think TB and savings accounts interest are probably competing.
Exactly.
So where else do you want to keep your money? So people seem to be going to the stock market to just buy something, because many of the stocks there, if you do it properly and well, you might end up getting return that is higher than inflation rate.
Exactly.
So maybe that's why we're seeing this.
Exactly. There are no defensive stock that that defensive stock and no stock that dividend to come and their yield is high. People
we'll still talk about defensive stock.
People are still going through it. That tells you that investors are now trying to how can we balance the economic situation now? As to speak, both the fund managers and investors are really on their toe. Why? Before now, we know that Treasury bill give you 14%, 15%. You don't need to do a practical, you don't need to do it in mathematics. Just sit there and you ask, call your fund manager, I want to move 50 million. You are sure you're going to get 15% at the end of 364 days. You could have, but now you are getting, for times you are getting 3.4. No, you need to have, for a whole year. If equity is giving you, especially good dividend paying stock are giving you 14%, 18%, 6%, 13% yield above inflation, then gradually money will move there. And also the low interest rate is also helping the equity market as we speak. And inflation, if you want to play defensive or you want to edge against inflation, you look at those stocks that has good high dividend yield that is above inflation, you do the same thing. Then interest rate, because interest rate is low, people can equally borrow money also do equity because interest rate is a bit low. These are factors not supporting the market now. But I will tell you, will see in a better market again toward the end of the year, which is the last quarter, because after seeing this third quarter results that we're expecting from October, see that will change investors' direction again. They want to start provisioning for what? Dividend. Now that we're still waiting for entry dividends or the banks, once they start seeing that third quarter result, now give an insight where they should put their money for dividend, because you can't give what you don't have. Once you have seen a company third quarter, you know where they are going. At the end of the day, are they going to surpass what they did the previous year? Or are they going to cut their dividend? Once you know this, investors can move on.
I'm guessing most banks, let's say most banks, let me say not all of them, especially those ones that are used to paying dividend, interim and final. Okay. A lot of them will want to still keep doing that for the sake of foreign investors, because they know that foreign investors, they own the junk of the market, they value consistency, and they want them to remove their stock from their portfolio, because once you pay this year, you don't pay next year, you're no more consistent, and they are really not into the yo-yo up and down. They are there because of the dividend. So when you're not paying it, you're sending the wrong signal. So I'm sure a lot of them want to still keep paying dividend no matter what, even if they're going to reduce maybe a little bit.
Exactly.
So let's await their result.
The half year that is still outstanding now, because most of them that want to pay into dividend, they ought to have released the result before now. But whether there is an extension by the regulator, we don't know. That's why market people are calling here and there. They've not seen GT, they've not seen Zenith Bank, they've not seen Access Bank, they've not seen GTB and Stanbic, because they are worried. They've positioned for what? For their entry dividend. But for me, I would advise investors, entry dividend will come from these banks. Then just be ready and prepared that this bank may not pay full dividend the way they paid in 2019, or they might do, but have in mind that dividend cut is possible, especially this era of economic reset. Companies are likely to cut dividends, and when they cut dividend, you as an investor, it's better you buy low, so that even when they cut dividend, your yield will still be high. Don't wait. That's why people want to jump into a GTB Bank at 25 naira. Call him. I said, for me, you can't jump into stock that we're going to pay you 30 kobo at 25 naira. You wait, then Stanbic, they're going to pay 1 naira. You jump in at 36 naira. You wait, because when it comes down, you are buying for the main dividend at the end of the year. Because at the end of the year, EDG is paying you for 2 naira against 2 naira 80 kobo they paid last year. No, it's something that means you are buying lower and you get into that, you get more yield. It's better about education and getting your entry strategy and strategy right from the beginning. Once you have that goal, it will guide you.
Thank you very much, Ambrose. Let's consider some results that actually came during the week. eTranzact, the card people, they are
Yes.
into card services, and their Q2 2020 revenue came down by 10.68%, and profit after tax came down by 223.06%. This is not a good result. And given the fact that the transaction card, I'm wondering what actually made them, they actually had negative profit after tax, that's loss after tax actually, of about 118.25 million. That's a lot. It looks like, did they go to work at all? Q2?
Actually, the number is surprising. One.
Why do you think, I mean, card services, I don't know, banks still working?
Exactly.
I don't, could it be that bulk of their profit is from maybe foreign trade or something, and maybe because of dollar, people are not trading? I don't know. I'm just trying to wonder, did you see the results?
Yes, I've seen the results now. For me, it's very, very disappointing number. But investors should, this is what I tell investors, that you should know when to stay in a company and when to leave. When you see this number, it's an opportunity for you to start position your investment.
It's numbers.
Wait, let me finish.
It's not too early to run.
No, let me tell you, this is a technology company. All over the world, the tech industry are the one leading the world now, and they are making money. Even though you are doing card, you can look at the result of Champs. They're almost the same business with Champs in Nigeria here, and they are posting negative results. For me, it tells you that this tech company in Nigeria, they need to change their business model, because if other tech companies outside the shore of Nigeria are doing well, what is dragging about? We have population. Banks are there, and you serve these banks. Banks are not going to owe you. Banks will pay as you are rendering a service. Then what I mean that investors should do, investors should not just wait. That is why anything is very good. When anything is coming, you wait the company where you are. If there is light at the end of the tunnel, you are seeing where they are going. If not, you sell off, go to where, like I said, the sector is where to guide you. That's why I see continued sectorization. People are moving from oil sector now to where? To what? To telecoms. As you know, over the world now, the tech company is not leading the world. The highest stock in the world now is from tech industry. And before that, it is industrial. But because the economy generally over the world is struggling, people are moving to tech. And why is our tech companies, the two only tech companies listed in Nigeria, are struggling? For me, investors should leave those to look at what is happening in MTN, in Airtel. It shows that what is happening in Nigeria because of our population and the strength of the people and the business model that the pandemic has really kind of pushed off for them. I'm telling you, those we can see the numbers are different. Then you can see those coming from the healthcare. Healthcare numbers are different. Just that as an investor, just because you invested in eTranzact and you love eTranzact, you are seeing negative number, you want to sit down there and be watching. No, it is time to you to sell off your eTranzact, move to healthcare. Me and Becca is the other company that they go down position and make your money. For me, this number is already telling you that at the end of 2020, nothing will come out from it. Because if you are seeing a half year result down by almost 200 or something negative, when are they going to come back? For me, investors should
Do they pay dividend?
I think they paid them 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Interesting, because if you look at their 2019 revenue against 2020 revenue, it's just a little bit more, 6.46 billion to 5.79 billion. So they actually did business. I'm just wondering what is part of the cost that ran the business into negative. I don't know.
Let me tell you, no matter what you do, whether you are being managed by whites or Nigerians or whoever, your scorecard tells you who is there. I don't want to know the Facebook of there. When I see your scorecard, I will know whether you have done well or not. Like when your child brings results, you know, first of all, you don't ask what's the name of the teacher first. You want to see what the child has done. The scorecard they are giving us is just how the company has performed. You know how to assess them, whether they are black or they're not. But for now, our investors look out from this company, look away, look elsewhere and make money. But the market is wide now. We have a lot of companies in the banking sector, we have in the consumer sector, we have in the oil. Now that oil is not going there for now. Despite the oil price trying to recover, I see that all the numbers from the oil sector are red.
Oh, it's understandable.
Yeah, for me as an investor, why must you look that way now? everything has time. Look to elsewhere where something is happening.
Healthcare.
Exactly. You just mentioned agri. Agri is the area that is happening now. Look the way of care. If you can see this moribund company called FTN Cocoa for many years coming up because of for me, look that way. Look that way, look that way.
Well, in trying to look, you have to be cautious too, so that you also don't get stuck.
I agree with you. That is why you need to up your education, your knowledge in equity investment. Don't just wake up in the morning, you want to go. That's why many Nigerians get their finger burnt in 208 and 209 because they are falling bad wagon. Market was all running to the market. No investment go, no strategy, no entry in there. For that, when the market came down, everybody was complaining. But now, I know people that got their finger burnt then would have gone elsewhere, learn, become a better investor, come back to this market. That is why don't just put your investment education behind. The way you struggle for your food, get education because this is your hard-earned money. As you learn, you improve your life. People say, I will tell you that as you learn more, you earn more.
Thank you, Ambrose. All right, Royal Exchange Assurance results full year 2019. The gross premium was down by 6%. Of course, loss after tax. Loss after tax also 7.21%. Okay, I'm surprised. Yeah, I am surprised that they had loss after tax because many of the results that actually came from that sector were actually positive.
Yes, I agree with you.
And Royal Exchange has been that particular stock that always seems to stay on gain and strat. So I was thinking the market was really in love with it, and then this result is out now. If I know their Q2 is out now and it's good, but if the Q2 weren't out, the Ambrose I know will tell you jump out of it. That's what I'm saying now. The result Q2 is out and it's good.
No.
Should we not be careful
no.
how soon we jump out of a stock?
No, that's why your investment goal will always guide you. If you're a trader, you know the kind of stock you should buy. If you're an investor wants the stock that will pay him dividend regularly. But when we are seeing a number that is not pointing to that dividend, what are you waiting for? If you're a trader, you can wait for stock. Like me as a trader, I can buy stock that is doing anything. So far as my technical analysis, it's a sign to enter, I enter, make my 10%, 12% I'm off. But an investor that wants to wait for 1 year, if you want dividend, you can't go and buy all this Papa stock, all this yo-yo stock. Look for stock that has the stable earnings, their business model is well understood by you that investing. You know that, at this season they do no poorly. You understand what they are doing. You cannot know how to stay for long. But if you're a trader, you can buy this up. Like what you just said now, this Royal Exchange now, their full year 2019 was not too good, not attractive, but they just released their half year 2020. They moved from a negative position now to a better, positive number, which is good. But for me, all the insurance companies, only few of them are paying dividend. They don't give you capital appreciation because of the low price. And when the liquidity in the market is not much, people usually play those low cap stocks. But also, when you are playing about it, you have to be very careful. Most times, when you enter a low cap stock, you can be trapped in that stock. For that, look for those that have volume. That's why we traders will not place some stock because of volume. Because the stock that you enter, you are the one buying it, the price will go up.
Just be born.
You are the one buying it, the price go up. You want to sell again, nobody to pick it from you. And you are selling the price going up, then what have you done? That's why, as a trader, even when you are taking to play with any stock, look at what's the volume in that stock. Is it where I can buy and come out and know what price will all go up for me? These are the things you don't do because somebody is buying stock, you don't want to buy. No. Get educated, pay for it, even buy CD, attend classes, lectures, training, online, anywhere. Once you get there, you can jump into people I know that retire from big companies, directors, they are in their house trading stock, making money, trading even cryptocurrency because they don't need to run up and down. It's only when you don't have the information or the knowledge that you say somebody buy on your behalf, you make plus the company. No, learn, and the process you become also a good trader or a good investor.
Thank you very much, Ambrose. Let's talk a bit on defensive stock. These days is more about you can't just afford to buy anything now, and defensive stock by their nature are stocks from companies that their products will still survive in the economy even during downturn. So naturally you will want to talk about fast-moving commodities, but these days they seem to be getting flogged in real life.
Yes.
So I'm thinking for the sake of this season, defensive stock might be stocks from the agri sector, health sector, and telecommunications. Case in point, MTN, Airtel, because people seem to be using more data these days.
Even more because you don't need to travel again. You don't need to travel, do more online.
Yeah, so these days when you're thinking of stock, it's not just about buying because you like the color or you like the name. Get defensive stock because you know that even though the market is down, economy is not doing well, they are still making money or they are enjoying some things from the government. So stocks like Okomo Oil, of course, FTN Cocoa, very penny.
Prestige.
Prestige.
Yeah. Prestige. Presco, sorry. Yeah, Presco. Yeah, Presco. Yeah, correct.
Then, of course, healthcare.
No, Presco and there was called livestock too.
Livestock, yes.
These are stock people have been looking at really for a long-term investor. There's potential. As far as we are looking for food security, that means we need to be invested. And government are really invested in the agro sector. Only that we have not seen much happening, but I tell you, with time, we start seeing. That is the sector that one can look at. And as you mentioned, the telecoms, we see that the economic reset has really make opportunity for investors to look at that sector. Despite the high capital intensive for their investment, we can still make money. For a stock like MTN giving you interim dividend of 3.50 kobo for half year, and still spending like almost 6 naira or 7 at the end of the year, you can go there and make good money. Airtel also pay in dollars. What I see opportunity in the market, like in most of Nigerian investors, because of what they experienced in the past is still hurting them as to speak now. I believe it should just change their strategy. That is why you need to call on investors that will tell you how to invest and invest profitably. All
right, thank you very much, Ambrose. Of course, Ambrose is an investment analyst from Invest Data Limited. Thanks for joining in again.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to break, and when we return, we talk about customer service and the impacts in business. That's one thing that a lot of people can define what customer service is. But when it comes to business, a lot of businesses are actually failing when it comes to customer service. All of this after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's still the Profit Point Show, and this is the business review segment, and we're talking about customer service. That's one thing that is more said than done in this part of the world, and I don't know why. We discovered that a lot of businesses believe that customers are doing them feel, and not the other way around. They feel that without them, customers can survive, which is meant to be the other way around. So we want to talk about what effective customer service is and the benefit to a business. I have in the studio with me Mrs. Abibat Sanusi, a business management expert. Welcome, thanks for coming on board. Madam Abibat.
Thank you very much
for having me here. You're welcome. So let's begin by defining what effective customer service is. We know what, okay, maybe we should say what customer service is first, before talking about the effective one.
Okay, there is no way we can define what customer service is without, first of all, identifying who our customers are.
Oh, perfect.
For example, if you want to define a customer, customers are those we serve. As a CEO, as a chairman of the organization, if you're not serving your customers directly, somebody else is. in your organization. That brings us to internal customers and external customers. Because within your organization, you also have customers, those that will meet those that are coming outside. So our customers are those that are coming to patronize us, you know, to come to our organizations, either for one thing or the other. Either they are paying or not. Some customers, they are your customers, but they are not paying.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. I have a tailor on the island. You know, there was a time I visited our shop, and you know, on going there, I needed something for the first time. So, and she said, "Oh, madam, we don't do that. This is what we do. But you can also recommend us to your friends." I don't wear skimpy dresses, but I have friends that do wear skimpy dresses. I was a customer at that point, but I did not pay her.
Okay.
But I referred her to so many of my friends who are also customers. So in that case, I am also a customer. So if she hadn't treated me well, there is no way. Yes, yes, a friend and a friend. And you know, there is a saying in business management that we say that if you make a customer happy, the customer tells 4 people. But if you make them sad, they tell 10 people. That is the saying. So our internal customers are also very, very important, because first of all, you have to identify the decision makers in your business, the influencers, the you know, the users and the beneficiaries. For example, the decision makers. Let's say you have a store, you sell children toys. You know, a mother and a child walks into your store and say, "Oh, madam, we sell this and this," and the child keeps saying, "Mommy, mommy, I want this toy, buy it for me." The child in that case is the influencer. The child is also your customer. And you know, you can just answer, you know, some children can be very adamant. They'll tell you, "Mommy, you have to buy this for me, you have to buy this for me." And you know, you just tell the child, "Oh, I don't have this," but the child keeps saying it. And as a store owner, you should know right there, that child, you say, "Oh, baby, you want this toy, you're gonna love it." You know, the child will go back to the mom and say, "Oh, mommy, you have to get this for me." But the mom there is the decision maker. You have to appeal to the mom also and say, "Okay, madam, if you get this for your child, these are the benefits." Do you get it right? So, you know, that point, the decision maker and the influencer. The child is also the user. And we have the beneficiaries. The beneficiaries are the societies, the grandmas. You know, the grandmas, they'll meet themselves, grandpas, and say, "Oh, my child has that toy." And that toy is very good. The grandmother is not the user, it's not the influencer, it's not the decision maker, but the beneficiary. And what the societies also say about your business, the society is also a customer. You can say, "Oh, that brand, don't ever try it. I can never use that brand. The first time I used it, I regretted it." That is society. These are people that you have not met directly. You get it? So, you know, let me give you another example. You know, at some point, we all have, of course, customer experience, good or bad, and all, you get it, right? So, you know, there was a time I went for a business training in Lagos. You know, coming back, I just moved into that apartment. On getting there, you know, on my way, driving down, I just saw these grocery stores. It was looking beautiful. I didn't actually know what they were doing there. But, you know, I went in there. I needed nail cutter for my nails. So, you know, looking around, I saw 2 sales girls at the entrance of the grocery stores. You know, they were laughing, chatting, not paying attention to me. So I came in, I went there, I was looking for nail cutter. So I was looking around,
nobody to
attend to me. So eventually I saw the nail cutter behind the mouthwash. That is point 1. A nail cutter behind a mouthwash. As a customer, that is pissing. Do you get it? Because always have it at the back of your mind that customers want to be happy. Whenever I patronize you, I want to be happy with my money. This is my hard-earned money, for crying out loud. So, you know, I saw the nail cutter behind a mouthwash. I said, well, I wouldn't mind.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it doesn't matter. I just picked the nail cutter. I went straight to the cashier. And guess what? On getting to the cashier didn't even look up at me. You know, she just handed over my bill. I collected the nail cutter. I said, wow. And I left. Because I was looking unkept. You know, I just come back from a travel. So the 2 girls kept on talking. They didn't pay attention to me. And I left.
Look like a customer.
Exactly. When I got to my compound, there was this my neighbor, Mrs. Coker. Mrs. Coker just told me, Madam Habibat, you have a letter a week ago. I said, oh, thank you. And you know, the next thing she said, Habibat, please, you have, in my store, I have a small store down the street. I sell groceries, I sell this, and in case you want to patronize, I said, oh, I'm okay, I'm tired, I need to rest a bit. And she insisted, she said, okay, anytime you're ready, I'll always be here available. So immediately I was about going, I just remember that I just came back from a journey. I would need other things for myself also, like tissue paper, like, you know, other toiletries. I went back to her, went to our store. It was a local store, very small, and eventually I spent 25,000 naira.
Customer experience.
Exactly. Do you see that
Yeah,
also? And there is another thing that you should not try to do to your customers. Don't ever try to size them up or profile your customer.
That's talking about the don'ts.
Exactly.
Now.
Don't size up your customers. Another example on that, there was a friend of mine, trying to salvage a business on the island. Also, it was a boutique. She sells bags and shoes. So she just called me, Abibat, I'm having social revenue issue in my business. How can you come in to help and all of that? So I went there. I tried to analyze our records, all of this. So I was there for a week. So to cut it short, one of the days that I was there, I was there very early in the morning. I just saw one woman walked in the bathroom slippers. When she walked in, she said, I'd like to have a handbag. And initially looking at the woman, I took her to the section where I have 10,000 naira bag category. So you get it. So when we got to that section, she said, no, I want that LV bag. It's written. I said, ma, that is 420,000. And she said, yes, I passed there yesterday. I saw it. That is what I want. She took the bag. She came back the next day. She said, I want that bag. I said, ma'am, what happened to the one you bought? She said, my daughter took it. She said she liked it. I want another one. And immediately she said, don't mind my dressing. I was told that guys on the mainland are very, very saucy. So that's why I came dressed like this. So you see, I didn't mean when she walked in, I had sized her up and say, what can she buy? I would have lost that immediate patronage. Do you get it? So there is ABC of customer service that we all have to learn. We have the attitude, the behavior, and competence. We know the technical know-how of your products, because customers want to be happy. That's when we talk about the product factor, the convenience factor, and the human factor. Your product has to be well presented to the customer to be appealing. If you have a very good product, no matter how nice you are to your customers, it is nothing to write them about. So your product has to be spot on. First and foremost, that's the product. Then walking into your organization, everybody that meets the organization has to greet the customer with a smile. It doesn't matter if you are not happy from home.
Nobody cares.
Yes, you greet with a smile. Good morning, madam. How may I help you? You get it? So, and when customers come with complaint, there are things that you don't tell your customers. You don't tell them, it is not my fault. Then you are the first person that is complaining about. Instead of saying, you're the first, a lot of customers don't complain, indeed. And those ones that do complain, you have to appreciate them. They are the ones that want your business to develop. After all, we are all in business of, customers. They will not complain. So, but those that complain, you have to appreciate them. So when they come and say, okay, we have this complaint, we have that, then you tell them, oh, madam, we are sorry about that. In our company, we do this, we do that, we do that. We do this, we do. Just make them happy. According to Sam Walton, that's the man that owns Walmart, he said a customer is king. And he can fire you from the chairman to the doorman by doing what? Spending his money elsewhere. And that creates competition. It gives customers choices. It creates competition in the market. That is why it is very key to always care for our customers. They are the integral part of our businesses. Because when you have competition almost everywhere, then, you see?
I understand. So, if I buttress what you say, because I run some business online too, and I feel for me, it starts from being empathize with your customer. Put yourself in their shoes.
Exactly.
If you can do that, a lot of things that you do things correctly. From when they're placing orders, you can tell this kind of customer, be truthful. Oh, can this thing do this? No, it can't do what you want, but it can do this.
Exactly.
Right?
That is setting up standards.
Exactly. It can do this. Okay, how soon will I get it within this time? Then give feedback. Your order is on the way.
Exactly.
That's really for online business. And when it comes, send it to them. And what I used to do is sell the shoe to a customer, and the customer comes like, the shoe is tight, or it's big, is this? No problems, ma. Just return it. It gives them comfort that they can buy anything from you, and if there is any issue, they can return it to you. It's going to be a loss to you, but that's on the short run, because if you get the shoe back, the customer gets something else, the customer will become a repeat customer. But when you don't want to collect back, the customer is not going to come back because
you will not
she's afraid.
Look at the loss.
Exactly.
Because at that point, it is expensive to get a new customer than retaining the ones that you have.
Exactly.
So you have to focus and concentrate on those customers that you have. Make them happy. They will refer others. Just have one thing at the back of your mind, that if you are not making your customers happy, and they keep coming, know that you don't have a competitor around there.
Sure.
So it all boils down to setting up your standards. When you set up your standards, and you know, customer care has to be rooted in your company's culture and your corporate beliefs. It's not something that will be grafted as an afterthought. No, because that's the essence of being in business. You let them know right from the doorman, the first person that is meeting your customer. Let your customer be happy. And if they have complaints, and you know, say on your product, you have to list out your policies, your standards. Okay, if you're not happy with this, we get a technician to repair immediately. And after repair, if you are still not satisfied, we have 1 year guarantee. When you spell everything out, and anytime the customer comes back for complaint, you say, oh, we are sorry about that. This is what our company does. There are ways of saying no. Because there's a saying that says customers are always right. It is true.
Actually, they are not always right, but they are kings.
It is true that they are right. Because although they are not always right on all situations, but you make them feel that they are always right. That's why in business you say customers are always right. So there are ways of saying no. Assuming a customer is going out of the line, and you know, you just say, ma or sir, these are the things that we do in our company, and it is stated on this product. And when you go to the product, these are the things that we do. And if you cannot handle a complaint, or you have a staff that cannot handle a complaint, a customer comes to you and say, okay, this is it, this is that, and you cannot handle it, just say, okay, ma, may I refer you to somebody else, and always have that information. And because quality, when you give customers quality, and by the way, quality is not what is good. For example, I am a production manager, probably in a pharmaceutical company. You know, and that production manager, all I do is 24/7, I'm always in the factory machine. And you know, you are a journalist. You need a phone of worth maybe 420,000 for good pictures, for, you know, media coverage and all of that. I'm a production manager in a pharmaceutical. All I need is to receive my calls. So in that moment, maybe a phone of 20,000 naira is quality to me. That is quality. To you, that phone is quality. Quality is what your customer wants. And, you know, it brings me to, it reminds me of a song that a Kenyan friend of mine always sing about customers. Anytime you remember this song, just know how important your customers are. You know, in Kenya, most of the things they do, they so much appreciate people around. Most of the things they do, they find fun around it. And that is, they say, I love my customers. They put dance to it, too. When you see them dance, when you see them dance, you see, you'll be happy, you know, to do that. They say, I love my customers. I put them here. They now say, I pay peta, pay peta, pay. That's Kenyan. That's how they do. What's that? Exactly. And when I asked the friend, what's enough pepeta? I said, well, pepeta is, you're just making them feel exactly. So that is it.
Thank you very much, Brother Babi. But there's one more thing I need to specify, and I've noticed a lot of times, especially when you go to restaurants or supermarkets where you meet security guard at the door or someone opening the door, maybe a lady and a guy. They tend to always greet the guys. They greet the men, and ignore the. I don't know if it is this part of the country. They assume. I don't know the thought behind it. Maybe you just feel she's a woman or she's female. I can't greet her. Maybe the guy is the one paying for the food, or she's the girlfriend. I don't know what the thought. But I just noticed that they don't greet the female, and I don't blame them. I feel is an organization culture. When you teach your staff that there is no gender when it comes to customer, it's not about what you wear.
Exactly.
It's not about
that
how you
profiling.
Look. Yeah, it's not about your age. It's not about gender. Greet everybody. Everybody's a customer. But here in Nigeria, you're like, what? I have a wife at home. I can't be greeted. Is she your wife? I keep wondering. She's not your wife. So what?
Exactly.
Anyway, that's my observation. Thank you very much, Madam Abibat Sanusi. Thanks for honoring us with your presence and your wisdom. Don't worry, I know another time we come, because it seems you have a lot to say when it comes to customer service.
There's a whole lot about customer service.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. We go on break, and when we return, we go on sectoral segments where we'll be talking about fashion. Case in point, cloth making. In this part of the world, we always assume that fashion designers and tailors are one and the same. Be surprised that they're different. After the break, we treat that. Stay with us. Thank you. Welcome back. It's still the Profit Point Show, and on this segment, we're talking about cloth making. But we want to first distinguish between fashion designing and tailoring, which we always seem to mix up here, or we assume they're one and same. I have in the studio Otumba Wasiu Taiwo, the National President of Tailoring Association of Nigeria. Good morning, sir. Thanks for coming all the way for this show. Thank you very much, sir. It's nice to have you. So let us first begin by differentiating what fashion designing is and tailoring, or who a fashion designer is and who a tailor is. Just briefly, because I can see you're checking
the good morning, viewers. It's my pleasure being here for this special program. Fashion designing, tailoring, they are all the same.
Really?
They are all the same.
Okay.
The difference that, doesn't really clear to some of our members and the layman, I will explain. You see, when you say, I am a tailor, if you look at the name himself, it covers so many things. You can tailor it to do this, you can do. But we're talking of fashion this time around. When you say you are a tailor, you work in a garment industry or in a production hub, a fashion production hub. Those two, they are different. You have garment industry and you have production hub. You have a fashion production hub. So a production hub means a place you have sophisticated equipment that you can sew anything. Anybody can bring his own brand, sample, produce the sample, then you now must produce for him or her, or for any label anywhere around the world. That's a production hub. A garment industry is where you have, maybe you want to produce trouser and shirts only. That's a garment industry. So tailor, now coming back to your question, tailor and fashion designers, they are the same. Designing means in a garment industry or in a production hub, you must have a department. That is where the whole thing started. That is the designing stage. Whatever you want to put to reality, you must have it from your head. Put it in your paper. That's the work of a designer. When you now say you are a fashion designer, that's you are just one department in the garment industry or in the production hub.
Okay.
So is that clear? Or I can still go more? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Because why I ask this, because some people, all they do is the sketch. That's what they do. That's a fashion designer.
Yeah, that's where the whole thing started.
Yeah. Then they have a tailor. Yes. Those are the actual people that bring the design to life.
Yes.
Right.
We don't even call them tailor in the factory. We call them machinists.
Machinists.
Yes. You have various departments in the tailoring and fashion designing or a garment industry. Different departments. When the designer finishes his work, he sends it straight to the illustration, who will put in on a pattern. From there, moves to cutting. The cutter will now place it on the fabric, make it a woman, either woman shape or man's shape, whatever you want to do. Then from there it goes to the machinist, who will now put the fabrics together. He leaves there and moves straight to the finishing level where you put the buttonhole and put the button. Okay. From there he moves to the packaging, where they are ready to put it in the package and send it to the store or send it abroad. That's what.
All right. So let us focus on someone that wants to go into the business of owning a fashion house.
All right.
You are not the tailor, but you are the one that owns the business.
All right.
Okay, so that's what we want to focus on today. Okay. Do you think such a person needs to know how to sew? Do you understand what I'm saying? You're the owner of the business, you're the MD, CEO, whatever. You're the one in charge of every other person. Do you need to know how to sew, or you just having the money and the ability to manage people is enough for you to run that kind of fashion, or just get tailors?
Yes.
Or you need the knowledge of tailoring itself?
I came back from Abuja just yesterday.
Okay, sir.
It's like you are reading my mind.
I am in mind.
That's one of the meetings I went for. we want merchandisers that have a little money to invest.
Okay.
We got 1 or 2 showrooms in Abuja now where we are going to put everything there. Both the mannequin, the show, everything, we put it, we set it up there. And we will run it for 3 months.
Okay.
The person that want to take it up is the one that want to invest this time around, is the one that will put somebody there. And after 3 months, he will make up his mind to take it over. We will just be supplying whatever we have put there.
Okay.
So we will just face our production wherever we are producing, and we have somebody who will be doing the marketing, and money will be coming in, and both of us will be okay. That's what we've not been doing because we are not producing in Nigeria. We have tailors. It's called ourselves fashion designer all around the streets. But we are not producing. And that's the level I am taking it to. That's why I went as far as becoming the president of all the tailors, and have the first production hub in Nigeria, have the first international standard institute, because all our students are graduates. I'm proud of that. I have lawyers, students in my institute. So, those are the structures we need to really, tap into the world market that is waiting for us. You can imagine how many people we are in the world today. And if a country decided to say, okay, if it is just 1 out of 100 that want to be part of this world market, don't you know how many billions of dollars that would be? There are some countries that are using this tailoring, fashion designing business, huge, to support its GDP in their countries today. And they're making so much money, generating so much employment, saving so much foreign exchange for their country. So, but here, we are sleeping. And we want to wake up that sleeping giant, and that's why I put myself in that trouble.
Okay. My question is, for someone that wants to come into the industry,
right?
You want to do the business.
Yes.
Do I need to?
You don't have to know
how to sew.
That is your question.
Yes.
You don't have to know. We are off takers.
Okay.
That's what I have told you that I just came back from Abuja to do. I cannot be producing at the same time, monitor who is selling. No. It's not just, it has gone beyond that. Anyway, let me put it that way. It has gone beyond, this industry has gone beyond that. Because we are not really, it seems we don't understand it. We just believe the people that we want to go and get something in Dubai, pin, you just place an order on the internet, they send it to you. You go far, far beyond that. Before you even produce the fabrics, let me explain. You need to start from the cotton farmers that will produce the cotton. Go to the ginneries that will make it thread. From there it goes to the textile that will make it a fabric. From there it comes to my own industry where I have to take the fabric and make it a finished thread that you can wear, that I can wear. So you can see it's a whole lot of value chain that needed government attention 100%, because it's going to generate so much employment. So much employment. If I remember those days in the 70s and early 80s, textile happens to be the second largest employer in Nigeria. What happened? Today, we have only 2-3 textile companies that are working in the whole country. It's sad.
Okay.
And those 3 are in the hands of the foreigners. No one that is owned by the indigenous of this country. So everything we do is in the hands of the foreigner. And if we don't do it, that means the foreigner will begin, they are going to be the one to develop our capacity for us, or even develop our infrastructures there. Because if we fail to develop the capacity of our people, I don't see how we can then use them for our own development. So we leave everything in the hands of the foreigner.
Thank you, Otumba. Thank you, Otumba. Some people might say that, of course, they want to go into the business, but they want to have an idea of how profitable the business is. Because everybody seems to be there. If there's no streets you get to that you not see one tailor, and people really sewing clothes like that. So, from your own point of view, how profitable do you think the business is?
Yeah, well, it's open. It's the way you want to take it. I want to take it. My dream is to beginning to send containers to the U.S. any moment from now, to the U.S. and Europe market, by the special grace of God. And if you decided to say, okay, I just want to be a tailor in my street, but the reason why we have to go as far as having an institute, because I don't really, I'm not supposed to have an institute, seriously speaking, but I need that structure and it's not available. That's why I still have to go into that. Well, most of our tailors are semi-illiterate. I'm sorry to say, my members, but that is the truth. I used to tell you when we have our meetings, please, if we don't bring all these graduates that are just finished university looking for white-collar job into this business, we are going nowhere. Because everything is sophisticated now. There's nothing you want to do without, you know, you need to press computer and everything. And if you cannot do it, you are not moving with time. So those structures are not there. That's why I have to go and do that again. Okay. Which I believe by the grace of God we are moving. So if we have so much of them, we can begin to compete at the international level.
Okay.
We need to begin to go for the international exhibitions. If we have our raw material at our disposals, it gives us more confidence to really know, the, you know, to take care of the kind of quality that is accepted at that international market. Because if you don't get it right, maybe you do it once, the Chinese have to disappoint you, or the Indians, for your raw material. When you take it there, they rubbish you and they cut the business off. So you have to be consistent. So it will be okay for you to have all your raw material at your backyard, which we have opportunities to have. All the raw materials are in Nigeria. But making it finished product and use it to complete our own is what we're lacking, and we are working on it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Otumba, for enlightening us, and I hope that by God's grace, the purpose for which you went to Abuja will come to life.
Amen.
Thanks for coming
Pleasure
for the show. Of course, this brings us to the end of today's show, Profit Point. For adverts, for partnership, you can reach out to us on 0809-999-1832, 0809-999-1832. The show returns same time next week on Thursday, 11 to 12 p.m. Same station, of course. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe. Goodbye.